This year, we're commemorating the 150th anniversary of the start of the Civil War. I'm Reese Stein at your leisure at Camp Floyd State Park in western Utah County. And while no battles were ever fought on Utah soil, this place was key to events leading up to the war.
Okay, forward, march. Left, 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 right. Go around the tree. Left, left.
Drill Sergeant Van Haften is putting these new recruits through their paces in a unique blending of the historic state park and area Boy Scout troops.
I'm here for Camp Floyd. We're doing our American Heritage Merit Badge.
The campout, offered to scouts 16 weekends each year, is about much more than just merit badges.
You got to learn about American history and stuff.
That stuff dates to 1858, when a large federal army under Albert Sidney Johnston arrived to put down the so-called Mormon Rebellion. With no rebellion to put down, Johnston, in a concession to Brigham Young, moved his army out of the Salt Lake Valley.
So this was the best place that they found to house their 3,000 troops.
This place was named for Secretary of War John Floyd, and 100 years ago was the largest single military camp in all of America. But Mr. Floyd may have had ulterior motives for moving this vast army and tons of supplies to the remote West. As a Virginian, Floyd saw the coming North-South conflict and likely moved to keep federal troops far from a potential Southern uprising. When Civil War did break out, the soldiers headed east, most to the north, but some to the south.
A third of the officers went to the south. A quarter of the enlistment went to the south. And I tell these boys, not because they were traitors, because that's where they were from. They were from some of those southern states.
Albert Sidney Johnston went south and died at Shiloh. Under fire, John Floyd resigned, joined the rebel army, and Camp Floyd was renamed Fort Crittenden. The post was abandoned in June of 1861.
And what they couldn't auction off, what they couldn't take with them, they were ordered by President Lincoln to destroy, including everything, buildings, munitions, and directly not to sell any of the arms to the Mormons.
Today, little remains of the fort, but memories, and one living icon.
This old willow tree was witness to it all. Planted actually before Johnston's army arrived, it exists today.
The commissary building was relocated to serve as the park museum. Inside, a handful of artifacts, historic photos, and displays tell the story of this important place and of the men who served here, including 3 future generals who would face each other 2 years later at a place called Gettysburg. The Scouts raise a flag dating from the period.
I pledge allegiance to the flag and the republic for which it stands for.
One nation, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And recite the first version of the Pledge of Allegiance, although they are told it wouldn't be written for another 30 years. Part of the American Heritage Merit Badge requirement is to learn about, or better yet, visit a historic place. Camp Floyd is well suited to this task, especially during these anniversary years.
Of course, to learn more about the Civil War and about American history, which many times in today's school, they don't spend adequate time, I don't believe, doing it. And so they kind of lose track of what the country's really made of.
At this same site in Fairfield, half hour west of Lehigh, the Pony Express paused during its brief run, and this stagecoach station welcomed early travelers heading to and from California. Today's version was rebuilt from the ruins of the original adobe structure that dates from 1858. Nearby, a military cemetery features headstones installed 50 years ago during the Camp Floyd centennial, as no original markers or burial records have survived. Of the many historic sites in Utah, Camp Floyd is all too often overlooked, yet it stands as a cornerstone in the history of the state and of the nation. But the legislature made serious cuts to the state park's budget this year and threatens even more next year. It would be a shame to lose access to sites such as Camp Floyd and the lessons they can teach not only to these young scouts, but all visitors.
It's really cool being somewhere that's been protected for so long. You can't really remember all this stuff for hundreds of years. So it's really important to protect it so that future generations can enjoy the same things that we did.
No Army camp experience would be complete without a turn at the trigger.
You're going to put the big end of the round rod down, and you're going to pack it down, all the way down.
Fire in the hole!
Fire in the hole!
Fire in the hole! All right, what fun.
Reese Stein at your leisure at Camp Floyd State Park.